Hi, good evening to all of you and welcome to JTC India YouTube live classes interview preparation on Java. And as you can see, the today's thumbnail of this video, which is very important again, and every day is, of course, it is the important things itself we are discussing. So this question is again, these all questions today what we are going to discuss is again important questions for your again interview purpose, right guys? So all of you get connected fastly so that we can start the classes if anything is there. And if anything is there, if any doubts, any questions is there here, we will start again. We will see that. Well, okay. So hope so you all are getting connected. So guys, the very first question, what is there on your thumbnail of this video? So let me go through this, the first question of this class today. First is, what is autoboxing and what is auto unboxing? Autoboxing, auto boxing and auto unboxing. What exactly these concepts are, auto boxing and auto unboxing? See, for example, we have some primitive types. We have some primitive data types. When I say primitive data types, so how many total primitive data types are allowed, guys? We have some primitive data types called as byte, short, int, long. Here is the float, double and boolean. This is basically that total, and one more is the character. So 8 types, 8 primitive data types we are having. 8 primitive data types which is available. 8 primitive data types, guys, available here, right? Now when I'm saying that 8 primitive data types, so corresponding to this, first there are wrapper classes are also there. What is that wrapper classes are? The wrapper classes are again byte, short, integer, long, float, double and boolean, as well as the character here, something it is. So these all are, these first basically we are calling it as an, what is that, wrapper classes we are calling here, right guys? So this is the basically what we are going to call these all as an wrapper classes. Important point it is that this all we are calling it as an wrapper classes. Now these wrapper classes, so first especially why I am saying it, if in case, suppose previously, if in case, and you need to remember one point, that before JDK 1.5, when I'm saying, so what is that now here? Suppose if I'll write here, if I will write, suppose integer of I1 is equal to, I'm writing integer of I1 is equal to, integer of I1 is equal to, suppose I am writing 10. Can we write this line or not? Can we write this line? Integer of I1 is equal to 10. Simple one which I am writing. Can we write it? Or byte of B1 is equal to, let's say I am writing 20. Can we write this, guys? And parallel to that also, guys, parallel to that, if suppose here I am writing one more thing, that suppose here I'll write int of I2 is equal to, let's say 10. So what is the basic difference between the, see, I am explaining you autoboxing and auto unboxing. Again, and today's class also, there are few questions which I am going to discuss till end of this class. Is going to be a very important classes, guys, right? Very important in that case, right? So the thing is, what I am saying is that what is basic difference between I1 is equal to 10 and I2 is equal to 10. See here, when I'm again explaining it here first, so see, you can write I1 is equal to 10, but before JDK 1.5, Java 5 से पहले, before JDK 1.5, you can say, I cannot write this line. We cannot write this line before JDK 1.5. What we need to do for this, if I wanted to write these all things, if I wanted to write this one, so I must have to perform, I must have to write this in some specific way. I must have to write this code in a very specific way, which was integer of I1 is equal to, it's a new of integer, and inside that 10 I must have to write. This, in this way we need to write it, previously before JDK 1.5. But from JDK 1.5 there is one concept which is introduced called as Autoboxing and Autounboxing. Autoboxing and Autounboxing. So say for example, due to that autoboxing concept, even if you have written 10, automatically this particular line will be assumed here. Automatically this will be assumed here, like what it will be assumed? That it will be auto-boxed into that here, right? So that will be assumed like this. How, what it will be assumed? Now that is the, it will be assumed like this. Integer of 10, it will be automatically assumed. This is what we are calling it as an auto-boxing. The main uses of this, guys, when you talk about the collections, in collections, let's say when you are writing something like this, suppose, and hope when you are watching these interview classes, so you must be aware with the at least some basic idea about the collections you must be having. So here, guys, what I'll do now, I'm writing here, let's say array list AL is equal to, suppose I'll write new of array list, here I am writing. Fine. So this is one array list object we have created. So what are different types of elements we can, I'm coming directly to the where the large amount of uses we are doing here. So this is the point where we are using it in a maximum way, in the maximum places, maximum things we are using it here. So what I'll do here now, guys, I'll write here al dot add. So see here what we will do. If you will write 1, not at this time. This is a modern form of the Java, right? Previously, when I am saying, before JDK 1.5, again I am saying it, right? So if you will write al dot add of 1 when I am writing, so you cannot write this one. You cannot write it. You cannot when before JDK 1.5. You cannot write it. Why? Because inside the collection, simply primitives were not allowed. We cannot write, we cannot store primitive data types inside that, right? We cannot do it here. So how do we need to do? We can write like this, al dot add of, here inside this, new of integer, and inside this now 11 we need to write it before JDK 1.5. If this is before JDK 1.5, you need to write like this. But now in the current situations from the JDK 1. This is going to be auto-boxed. The 1 what you are going to have will be auto-boxed into that, will be stored automatically inside that. So you need not to do anything with this. This is the concept which is auto-boxing. And So if I'll tell you in the current scenario, again there is no meaning of talking about the auto boxing and auto unboxing. Why I told it? Because some of you used to think that it is a very important concept. Yes, it is an important concept, but I must say that by default automatically it is being used in your programs, automatically it is being processed in your program, so you need not too much worried about this concept auto boxing and auto unboxing, something like that. If suppose if you will just like you are printing here, so here let me auto unboxing, I'll be explaining it here. So before that you understand one more thing here in this. What is that? Let's see here. If I'll tell you one question, if I will tell you that here if you are writing integer of I1 is equal to new of integer, inside this you are writing 10, say for example. What you are writing? 10 you are writing. Let me here write it. You are writing 10 and int of suppose I1 is equal to you are writing 10. So say here, this is one object guys you are creating. This is one object you are creating. So this I1 is a reference variable. I1 is a reference variable which is going to allocate 8 byte of memory, and this will hold the reference of this 10 where it is the some object form it has been created. So here the reference will be stored of that corresponding object, right? So if in this case you are printing simply I1, so it will not be printing 10 previously. I am not talking about now. Means in order to get the 10, we need to use the methods of the integer class. Which methods of integer class? I'll be coming to that, which methods of integer class. But yes, definitely we will not be writing like this. But yes, now from the concept called as auto unboxing, even if you will write simply SOP of I1, you are getting the value called as 10. This is one important thing which you should keep it in mind always. And even these all things has been deprecated now in the current versions. This has been deprecated here, right? Well, next one here is when I'll write I1. So see, this I1 is a simple primitive type. So it is allocating how much memory? 4 byte of memory, and 10 has been stored into this here. So this is called as the basically auto boxing and auto unboxing concept from the wrapper classes guys here, from the wrapper classes. What I'll do here now, in this itself, so why we are first using the wrapper classes? The important thing is, why do we use the wrapper classes? So wrapper classes basically, see, we have the following 3 specific types, where these, even I am telling you the wrapper classes, it was not the question, but again if you will understand, it is good only. So I'm just giving, I'll be taking just 2 minutes to explain you that what exactly the wrapper class is in and how it is going to work in these cases. In this, see, first what all things we are having? We have one wrapper classes. One is the wrapper classes. Second one, what we are going to have is the primitive types. Primitive data types. So sometimes you may need the wrapper types, sometimes you may need the primitive types. It is again that choice. And one more very frequently uses of the, you can say that is string class, which you are going to do, right? So in these 3 combinations, why I'm calling it as a combination? Why? Because you are most frequently you are using in your program. More frequently you are going to see that in your program here, right? So inside this guys, what I'm just trying to show you something which is very important again. The important thing which I'm going to show you here in this is, it provides the number of comparison or number of changes things here. So see, from the wrapper to primitive, from primitive to wrapper, from primitive to string, from string to primitive, from wrapper to string, and from you can say string to wrapper. These all possible. So total how many types are there? 6 types of it. Provides the conversion from each other in that cases, and where it is going to play a very important role in that. I'll just show you a very basic example of the wrapper. Just by seeing it, you could have some idea that how it is going to work and what is its basically the processing is, and what all main other things are there into this. Guys, today again, as I must say that the very important runtime class and system class is again a very important point, very important questions here in this. So here, let's see here what I am as such I am talking about. I hope you are able to see the screen. So see, already what I have done is, this is one wrapper class example. So see what I told you, that even if primitive to wrapper, the first one, from primitive to wrapper, how you are converting. So 987 is your primitive type and you are converting to the wrapper type. So by using the constructor you are doing it. But I must say it is not required at this time. Here see, it's already been deprecated. If it is coming, strike it out, then it means it is a deprecated one. We need not to use it even. So here if just I'll do like this, integer of in11 here, if I'll write here, so if you will just write here like this, then it is both is the same thing here. No need to write this much like this. This is an old style of writing it again. This is the old style of writing it. You need not to write like this here in this. There's no problem. Next one, guys, inside this, here similarly, that is the boolean. Even you need not to write like this. Character you need not to write like this. So here is the way that how primitive values are getting converted to the, again, the corresponding wrapper types. So one by using the constructor way we are doing, and second one by using the value of methods we are doing. Each of these like wrapper classes, we have this value of methods, and by using this value of methods we can convert to the corresponding type of wrapper classes. But I must say that at this time it is not required even to know, because you can directly perform the assignments without any sort of conversions, right? So it is literally not required, and it is not equally important to perform this sort of comparisons. Next one, when I am saying that wrapper to primitive, again I must say this is also not required even to perform like that, but yes, there are the methods in each, and you can just observe the sort of pattern what we are using in order to perform these all things. What is that wrapper to primitive? That whatever these integers are there, this is the integer, this is all in1 is the wrapper type. This we are trying to convert into the primitive type. So what we did is in1 dot byte value, so it will convert it into the byte. So similarly, whichever class you are going to have, what it is, byte, short, int, long, float, double, like that correspondingly we have this different methods. So you can just keep in mind one pattern, and that you may use in your program if in case you are getting required. Guys, just reply me in the comment box whether you are understanding all these things or not, right? And again, I am going to come to the very important questions today, and it will really be the eye-opening class in the last of this class, right? Okay, so here again, that is primitive to string. Well guys, so I am not again explaining it one by one. Here is some conversion methods are there, that how from integer to 2 binary string, how we are converting this all thing to hex string to octal string. Is a mirrored means whether if you are just doing the opposite to this also, whether it is going to give the same value or not. So if you want, I can just print out run this program at the same way, and let's see. Here it is giving what it is, variable, some variable name I have given, it is the same name. So okay, I'm not just doing the changes because I11 here. Okay, well, let me comment this point, and again I'm running it. So you can see here that is the true and false, the last one which is there, true and false here, true and false here. Yes, it is the true and false, something we are getting it in, right? So that is the mirror image which we are going to get. So okay, this is a very simple things which you may understand it, right? So m what we have is not a mirror image. If you do like that, it will perform in a different way, whereas this one and the bracket, something which we have, it is a mirror image. So this is the basic things from the wrapper classes, and the complete different short of whatever the maximum things and the uses of these wrapper classes we could do That all I have shown it to you here. So what you can do is just you can see this video, you can see these methods, and you can just practice these examples. And if anything, any questions comes out of this, in case if any questions, you can write it in the comment box later on, and that we will be, whenever we will see, we will reply back it to you. Next, now guys, whatever the next question we are getting is, why can't we create the runtime class object more than one? See guys, it is a very important question. The question here is why we cannot create runtime class object more than once. If you remember the things that we have discussed in the previous classes, if you remember the singleton design pattern, that in a single, so as I already have told at that time also, that runtime class which is there has been implemented on the basis of singleton design pattern, and since it's been implemented on the singleton design pattern, we cannot create object of this runtime class more than once. Let's see here. What is that? If suppose we have a runtime class, so see here, a class, runtime class, what you have, runtime class, what you have, it's a singleton pattern implemented, which means a default constructor of runtime class is private. So when the runtime class default constructor is private, runtime RT is equal to new of runtime, we cannot write it. We cannot do this. This object can't be created like this. We cannot create the object called as runtime RT is equal to new runtime. Definitely not, because the constructors, default constructor available inside the runtime class is private. So that's the reason we cannot. Why it is private? So that they want that because from outside the class you are going to create object on the basis of this default constructor. So that's the reason it is private. And if you are just going to process the particular line of code, so default constructors are going to be processed in any case. That's the reason it is a private, and we won't be able to create the object more than one. Next guys here, so how will we create the object of the runtime class? So runtime class object can be created, so we cannot write it here like this. So I'll write here runtime RT, it's a reference variable, and runtime dot get runtime. There is one method called as getter method, which is returning one object called as runtime here. So let's look at the API of runtime class. And runtime class guys is very important in many aspects when you talk about garbage collections, when you talk about the system resources, many things which is there, which is going to play an important role into that. So let's look into the. Okay, now here is the one what I'm just trying to show you guys, that inside this now here, not here is the runtime class first. So see the runtime class, what I'm doing, before that you just look at the API of the runtime class, java.lang runtime here. Here is the runtime which I'm writing here. So see, first runtime class is a public class, well, and the runtime method which is the static method. So if you remember the singleton design pattern that I have already explained it properly in the previous videos, you please watch the design patterns video. There already I have explained how it is going to work and what are its processing and how it is going to perform in that cases, right? So this is the runtime, by using this itself you can create an object of this here. Now there are some methods. So what all that methods are? exe, this is execute methods we will be calling, some important methods. And now out of that, available memory, free memory, total memory, max memory, run finalizations, and again there is a method called as load and load library. What is the uses of load and load library? That we will be discussing here, right? So here you can see the API. Now based on this API, what all the maximum uses and what is the most important methods out of all that, here what I have done is, you can see here that I have used it here in this. So first is runtime.get runtime, we are getting the runtime object, right? So RT. Now what I am saying, it is been implemented on the basis of singleton design pattern. So what I'll do is runtime runtime RT2. I'll write here runtime RT2. Let me see here some, is that any of the method names which I've done. So runtime RT2 is equal to runtime dot get runtime. One more object I have created. So when I'm saying that it's been created or it's been implemented on the basis of singleton design pattern, so what shall I do in this case, guys? What is the important thing which we should try to achieve it in these cases here, right? So let's see here what I'm trying to achieve. Here is the first important things which I'm trying to do is RT is equal to RT2. I'm just going to make it here, right? Make it clear here, make it clear in this. Let me show you here something. And the one which I'm saying, whether it is correct or not, let's see here. So I'm running this, guys, here. I'm running it here. You can see the output of this one. Okay. Here, these all many things it is opening. So why it is opening, I'll be showing it to you. But before that, you see the output of this one. The very first one, it is giving the true, which means that RT as well as the RT as well as RT2 both are representing the same object. That's what the singleton design pattern means here, right? Guys, if you are getting anything, if you're writing any questions, if you have any doubts in that, you can please write it here. Fine. Now let's next move to the next one here. It's again a get runtime. Get runtime means a different instances you are creating, and here all that it is going to print the same sort of thing, same sort of hash codes here. 1 second. Why it is opening? I'll tell you why it is opening. So you can see here, runtime, see here, is that printing the same hash code here? Yes, it is printing the same hash code. So that's one way. Total memory means what? Total amount of heap memory which is available. Total amount of heap memory which is available. That's what we will call it as a total memory. Total amount of heap memory which is available. That's the meaning of total memory. Free memory means unused amount of heap memory. Unused amount of heap memory we will call, right? Unused amount of heap memory we will be calling in this case, right? Next one here is that max memory. What is the max memory? The maximum amount of memory which could be used for heap memory. That is the max memory, right? RT dot available processors. It depends what it is going to return. Now see here, RT dot. What is that RT? RT is the runtime class object. RT.exe notepad we are open. It will automatically, whenever you will run it, it will open a process called as notepad, and this notepad now automatically will open on your console. Calculator will also open. MS Paint will also open. Here it is going to print some path again. This is the Windows media player, because it must be installed in your system on the same location, then only you can open it, or else you cannot. Now here press enter to, okay, here now we are closing all this processes which has been created into this. See, RT dot, if you will look at the API, so this is the process type object it is returning here, right? So these processes which has already been started, initiated, that we are destroying it at the end into this here, right? So you can see whenever the time you are running it, notepad, calculator, notepad, everything it is opening here, and this is the one which it is doing. So this is a simple concept of which one now? A runtime class, guys. Now at the same time, similarly, there is another question called as why we are not able to create an system class object. The question is why we are not able to create the system class object. Let's look at this. Why we are not able to create a system class object. Look at this here. System class. First, do you know what is system class is? So here we are calling system class. We are not able, so can we write, this is a class available into java.lang package, right? This is available into the java.lang package. So here system is a class. System is a class what we are having. So can we write is equal to new of system? Can we create the object of this class? No, we cannot create the object of this class, because the constructor of the system class, default constructor of the system class is also the private. That is one again important point which you should keep in mind, right? Now before that, I'll tell you a very most popular line of Java programs till now you would have written in your life. What is that? Every day you will write at least 200 to 300 times that line if you are means regularly practicing and regularly doing something like that, right? So this is a very important thing. Now here what I'm writing here, guys, is two things I'm writing, and it is important for you to understand here. What is that? It is important for you to understand. You are writing here System.out.println. Are you writing it or not? Are you getting my point? System.out.println. Now this is the time to understand what is system, what is out, and what is println, and what exactly System.out.println is. Is that or not? Is that you are trying to understand that System.out.println is what exactly System.out.println is? So let's understand here first. Yes, definitely system is a class. It's a class. Remember, out is a reference variable. Of which reference variable? I'll tell you. Out is a reference variable, guys. Reference variable of which? Static reference variable, you can say. Static in the sense, and not only static. So here I'll write complete one. Static final reference variable, which means what? In another sense, we can call it as a constant. What we are? So exactly here, let's System.out.println. So here it's okay. Now println is one method. Here now where this method is and what it is, I'll be just explaining you by just showing you the different APIs. The important thing is, guys, here what we are going to understand in this case is, see, I'll first write java.lang system class I'm writing. When I'm writing the system class, so well you can understand that what is there in this system class. In this system class, guys, first see what is there here. Do you think the first one which I said, it is even a final class? And since you can say most of the members of a system class is static, so we won't be even getting the requirement well to create an object of this class. Why? Because directly by the name of class itself we will be able to access it. We'll be easily able to access most of these members of a class outside the class here, right? So what is this print stream? It is a final one. Remember my point. It is a final. So what is the meaning of static final? Static final means the implementation of out which is there can't be changed. Implementation of out, what we have here, cannot be changed. So now we need to know what exactly is the implementation of out. So there is one print stream, it is there here. Let's look at the print stream. What is the print stream available here? java.lang.print. You see here, this is the print stream, right? So it's a class called as print stream which is extending something. It's not, as of now I'm not going to talk about all that. So here it is a print stream class. So, and inside this there are, you can see the number of overridden println methods are available here. Overloaded methods. So if anyone asks you what is the best example of overloading of a method, well, you can say that this is only the best example of overloading method. See how the println method has been used, right? So that's the way we are accessing it here by writing the System.out.println. System.out.println means inside the out we have the reference of class called as print stream. That's the reason with the out we are able to call the println method. That's the reason we are able to call this println method. Here you should understand it. Now, so there are again many important points, guys, here. And again one more thing we are getting here. System.err.println. So can we write System.err.println also? Yes, we can write the System.err.println. So let me explain. What I am trying to explain you here, guys, that this static final reference variable of which one now? Print stream class, which is available inside java.io, right? Input output. And so if anything you write, so why I'm saying static final? It is a static final, which means the implementation is, so what is the out implementation? The out implementation by default is pointing your console. It is pointing to your console. So anything you write by writing the System.out.println, by default it will show on your console. Now the question is that we are not trying to write something inside a file? Maybe the System.out.println, maybe sometimes you are trying to write on a console, but next time I want to read a data from a file and I want to write data into a file. So in that case, what I have to do now? Yes, so in that case, it is a static final variable. And we would have seen that static final implementation can't be changed. But yes, the implementation of this out can be changed by using the given method called as setIn, setout and seterr. So by using setout, we will be able to change the, you can say, the implementation of out. See here now, this is out. So the out is a static final variable, guys. So special way has been provided by the Sun Microsystem that by using this setout method, we can change the implementation of this out. By using the set out method, we can change the implementation of out. So if you wanted to give the location for this print stream in some other place, some other where, some other thing, so what you could do is you can set your reference and there you can write it. So I'll show you in your program. And err, see, System.out.println and System.err.println is generally, you can say, almost it is same itself. But in general, like according to the conventions, when you are trying to write a general message on your console, so better to use System.out.println. Whereas if some error message you are trying to print on your console, in that case you can use System.err.println, right? So these both things which you can take into the consideration. Well, so what I'll do now next here, guys, let's look at one example over here. What is that example is? So first is here. See here. Here is the example which I'm trying to show you. The example which I'm trying to show you is System.out.println setout, System.out.println message 2. I'm just trying to show you here. See, if you will just remove the comment, we won't be able to create the object of this, even not required to create an object. So here, err.println, it is just an error message here. Current time millis. Current time millis is going to give the time difference from 19. There is some year called as 1947 midnight 12 o'clock. From then to corresponding till date, it is giving the time, right? Here is some path it is showing you here. Set property by using the OS name, you can set it here, the Unix and all. Now here the last one, what you have to get it out of this is, see here now, set in, set out, set err, this references you are checking it out. Okay, now you see I am changing how we are changing the implementation of out. So by writing set out, what we are doing, print stream of file output stream res.text, right? So res.text when I am creating, so it will generate one new file, and then after whatever you are writing by using the System.out.println, now this everything is going to print inside this res.text. Whereas if you write System.out and System.exit, exit is just to interrupt your JVM processing, and it will, so here now you can just look at the output here in this. Look at this now, yes. You can see here, see. The every write in the beginning, there is number of things, out 1, out 2, error message, everything it is showing it one by one. If in the last, if you will watch one thing before changing these implementations, so what you are able to see is that message after changing 1 and message after changing 2, you are not getting on the console. You are not getting it. Only you are getting error message after the changing out. So what you will do is, in your current working location, you need to check whether the res.text has been created or not. and in that location whatever the change 1 and change 2 changing 2 you have written, this message will be displayed into this res.text, because again I need to show the corresponding working location. I don't know where I have the workspace of this Eclipse one, so I need to find it out. So anyways, you can try it by your own in your laptop, and this is what here basic topics of this has been completed here, right? So again in system class there are again important points, because sometimes what you will see in exception handling, you will even see out that what is the system.exit. There is one method called as system.exit. Here some int you are writing. So system.exit means what? It is going to terminate your JVM, means the processing of JVM itself will be closed over there, right? So that's the system.exit it is going to do. You have seen again inside this case system.gc. By using this one, you can request GC to come in that case, right? We can request GC to come in this case, right? And like that. So maybe here I'm not explaining all the methods of system class, but what I'll say is whatever important methods are there, please go through the API. I have already told you how to see the API, how to see the processing of all that, right? And in that, guys, if any questions you are getting, any specific method explanations you need, write it in the comment box, so that what I'll do is I'll be making videos on that, and I'll be again coming in front of you with that new videos, right? So today is the general classes of whatever the from interview point of view, which all the important classes are there, important implementations are there, that everything I have shown it to you. Now from the lang package, if you feel any other questions which I should discuss over here, please do write in the comment section, please do write in the chat box, so that we can discuss these all questions in some other upcoming sessions. Tomorrow onwards we are going to discuss the exception handling interview questions, and already tomorrow's event I have created here, so you can click on the reminder button of that event, so that what you can do is you can get it into that, you can get the notification well into that case, right? And even the event which is there, if you want in exception handling, which is going to be the tomorrow's topic, you want me to discuss some new concepts over that, so whatever concepts might be coming to you, so you can write in the comment box of that event itself. We will be definitely discussing it, right? So any question, guys, you can please write your suggestions, your comments in the comment box, in the chat box, so that we will come to know exactly what is your requirement, how it is, and what all other things are there, right? And we will be exactly getting the real-time data, that what you are expecting from us, so that we can make it more and more interesting in that case, right? So again, and what I'm expecting all of you is the practice these examples, which I've, because it's a most of the important methods of these all things which I have already created, and here some of these important lines which is there, you should check it out, that what is the system.out equal to system.err and all other things, because if you will do once, a lot of important things you are going to get here. So guys, please do like, share, subscribe, and share with your friends, share on your Facebook, because that itself is going to motivate us more and more. So thank you for coming to the live every day on 9:30. Tomorrow again we will discuss the exception handling classes, because thank you, good night to all of you.